I am a Catholic and my wife is a Jehovah's Witness. Just a few days ago, we had a disagreement about John 1:1 and the divine identity of Jesus. So it's just talking about the Gospel of John, right? The opening, the Word was with God, the Word was God. The Jehovah's Witnesses argue that the correct translation for this verse is, in the beginning, the Word was with God and the Word was a God, since the second occurrence of the term God is missing a definite article in the original Greek. This is great. I do have an answer to this. So, since the second occurrence of the term God is missing a definite article in the original Greek, a definite article, for those who don't know, is the, right? In English, the, which is different from an indefinite article like any one of a or an, right? Like a clock versus the clock on the wall, right? So the is the definite article. Could you explain why Jesus is necessarily the incarnation of God and not some holy creature? The question is all the more important during the Christmas season. Thank you all. So this is a question about the Greek of John 1, right? The first verse of the first chapter, which I've just quoted in English, but here it is in Greek, right? In arche ein hologos, kai hologos ein pros ton theon, kai theos ein hologos. So the Jehovah's Witness interpretation is essentially that the middle clause, hologos ein pros ton theon, has a definite article. The Word was with literally the God, meaning like the one God, God alone. And then the next one doesn't have a definite article, kai theos ein hologos. And so the Jehovah's Witness translation would be something like, and the Word was divine, or the Word was sacred, or something along those lines. This, to me, is not a good argument. And I'm going to sort of say a couple reasons why. Here's the truth of it. The true part is that in the Bible, many things are called God that are not the real God. For example, routinely in Hebrew, angels and false gods are called Elohim. And in fact, in Psalm 8, I'm quoting this off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. In Psalm 8, it said that God has made man, in the translation, it often says a little lower than the angels. But the Hebrew is me'at me Elohim, a little bit less than gods. You have made us a little bit less than gods. And so there is an awareness in Scripture of rival gods to God. And it's the part of the purpose of Scripture to show that those gods are actually not God at all. There is, however, unfortunately, in Greek, a phrase for saying a God that is not God, and it's theos tis, a certain God, one God among many. And this is all over the New Testament. Mark 14, Luke 8, Luke 1, Luke 11. You can find it everywhere, right? And tis is this kind of, it's an indefinite some God or another. And so if that had been the intention of John, that was readily available to him. And in general, when there are linguistic resources available to say something a certain way, and the author doesn't, it's not really a good argument to claim that he's just doing it anyway. It's not as if, what I'm not going to claim to you is that this one verse taken alone couldn't possibly mean what the Jehovah's Witnesses say. I think it's a stretch. I think it's the by far the less likely reading of the Greek. But, I think Christians draw from a whole range of sources, such as Jesus' own statements about himself, to also demonstrate that the proper interpretation here is that the Word was God. The idea that Jesus was kind of a blessed or divine person is something called Arianism, right? It's a long-standing idea. The other thing about this, though, is that in the structure of Greek sentences, you have, basically speaking, you have a subject and a predicate, and the subject is the thing that is the subject of the sentence, such as in this case, the Word, right? And then the predicate is like what the thing is or what it's doing. And so in this case, ein theos was God is the predicate, and the subject is hologos. When the predicate comes before the subject, as it does here, it's normal Greek practice not to have a definite article. So it's actually unremarkable and not really a feature of the thing that requires like some other explanation than that. That's why in my view, the Jehovah's Witness argument doesn't hold up here. And I hope that I haven't caused marital distress or strife between you and your wife.